Welcome back to Mental Health Matters. Welcome back to a brand new episode. It's definitely been quite a while, but we are back, and of course, we will be talking about all things mental health. And in this episode, we are going to talk about self care and self love. So, I think just the term or phrase self care is something that most of us have come across, if not all of us. We've come across it everywhere, especially in this social media era, in this digital era, um, in this era where we have so many brands and businesses and a lot of things that are, on a marketing scale, and just information that is out there has introduced us to the idea of self care, but I'm not so sure about self love. So, this is exactly why we are having this episode today, because we need to find a distinction. There is a huge, huge difference. And in my personal opinion, I really believe that um, self care has been capitalized on, has been commercialized. So, it's like an industry thing, and people are of course making money off of that, which is not a problem. I mean, do what you have to do if you have to do it, but I think that it is giving people the wrong idea, especially people that don't know, that don't have the information when it comes to this whole mental health thing. um it's like they get introduced to this idea of taking care of yourself and loving yourself in a completely different light. And most of the time, that would involve, you know, the external, how you look, what are you doing on the outside to show that you love yourself? What are you doing on the outside to show that you are taking care of yourself? And that is the issue. That is the thing, the one thing that makes this whole thing to spiral out of control. And then it's so hard for people to figure out why somebody who has this or has that or has this amount of money or material things can still suffer from a mental health illness in the worst case scenario, or is just mentally unhealthy or struggling with their mental health. We then ask ourselves and we wonder what happened, because this person has this amount of money, this person is well known, this person is this person has that. It seems like their life is put together. It seems like everything is in order and they've got every reason to feel well and healthy and happy. But then we find out, and we've seen it so many times, that that is not the case. So, this is why we are here to dissect this. Let's start with the concept of self care. When we talk about self care, um, it's just taking care of yourself, and it's a broad situation. It's either you take care of yourself, of course, externally, your body, your physical health, um, but then you are also required to take care of your mind, your mental health. You're required to take care of your emotional well-being, how you process your emotions, your feelings, your inner world, your state of being inside. So you can either take care of yourself inside, and also, actually, it's not an either or. You are required to take care of yourself outside and inside. And I think for us, which is it's human nature to just look at a person and then make the conclusion as to whether this person takes care of themselves or not. We look at what you have, how you look on the outside and everything, and that gives us an idea most of the time. But then we cannot blame society, we cannot blame each other and say, oh, but you know what, you are just judging me based on what's on the outside, because the truth is your inner world is something that is sacred. It is something that only you can control. So therefore, you are the one responsible for taking care of your inner well-being. And unfortunately, when we look at mental health right now in this era, there's this thing of self-care being, you know, going out and shopping and going to this place and eating this kind of food and doing this and doing that. And you are saying to the world, I am taking care of myself. Am I saying that is wrong or right? That's not what I'm saying. That's for you to decide. You need to do whatever it is that you feel is best for you in that moment. But the problem is when that kind of thing is portrayed as taking care of your mental health, it becomes a completely different story. It becomes something else. And then you get a person who does not have those luxuries and who does not have those privileges and all those things, who is like, how am I then supposed to take care of myself? Because I don't have all of those things. I can't be going out every week or every weekend and eating this kind of food and doing this and doing that. And so it's becoming, or it has become, a point of privilege, this whole self care thing. It has become a thing of, oh, if you are privileged and you don't have uh, your basic needs, well, if you have your basic needs met, then you are able to take care of yourself, compared to someone who's worried about their basic needs. They don't have time to take care of themselves because they don't have that amount of money. They don't have that luxury. They don't have the ability, the means to do that. And this is a whole thing. It's a whole thing. There are literally people that think, if I don't have the money to get what she has or what he has, then I'm not taking care of myself. Then I can't be taking care of myself. And I will not feel good about myself and who I am. Therefore, it adds on to the troubles, it adds on to the struggles that you have already within your mental health system. So, I'm here to talk about taking care of yourself from a mental health perspective. When we take care of ourselves from a mental health perspective, it's a matter of self awareness. You are aware of who you are. And what I mean by who you are is you are aware of your own communication, you are aware of your level of self esteem. Are you confident? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you know what are some of the things that you need to work on in regards to yourself? Do you know what are some of the things that are, you know, your best traits about yourself, your strong points, your strengths? And then do you know your communication, your level of communication? Are you able to communicate with yourself in a healthy way, and then able to communicate with other people in the same way? Do you have boundaries? Are you people pleasing? Are you the kind of person that does not prioritize themselves? You don't put yourself first. You always put the world and everybody else and this and that first, and you put yourself last. Are you struggling with that? Do you struggle with resentment? Do you feel bad at the end of the day about yourself? What is it? What is really going on? If you have an idea of what is going on, then that automatically introduces the idea of self-care. How then can you take care of yourself? For example, if you are struggling with saying no, if you are a people pleaser, you would then realize that this is detrimental because it means you are at the back burner, you are number last, and everybody else is number one. So you will then realize that I actually need to start voicing out. I need to find ways to say no in a way that the other person is going to be able to understand, and in a way that's going to make me feel comfortable. So when you begin to try and you take the first step and you say, no, I won't be able to do this. No, I wish I could help you out with this, but to be honest, I don't have what you need. Then that is taking care of yourself. You are actively taking the steps to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you won't be feeling resentful. You won't be feeling like the worst thing ever. You will be at peace knowing that you were able to say no or to something that doesn't resonate with you, or something that is not for you. That is just a small example. So if you look at that scenario, I don't think there is any money involved in that. I don't think that there is any material thing involved in that. I don't think it's a matter of what you do, where you live, etc. I don't think it's a matter of that. You are actively taking care of your inner world, so that at the end of the day, you are stronger, so that you are able to be assertive and say no to the things that don't resonate with you, no to the things that are not for you, and say yes to the things that are actually for you, the things that are actually going to impact you in a positive way. So that is the whole point, where we sideline this whole self-care thing, and we associated with the external part of things. Yes, externally, when you take care, when you apply self-care, you will do your face, your skin, if that's what you want to do, or go out and eat out at your favorite place, or hang out, or do this and do that. That is taking care of the external aspects. And that is something that is part of us as human beings, definitely, for sure. But then also realize something. Realize that when you fail to take care of yourself, your inner world, internally, how then are you going to be taken care of? Because remember, as people with relationships, in these social spaces, when we are out and about and we're socializing and so on, we have expectations. We have expectations that when you get to this place, when you get to whatever place and with whoever, you expect to be taken care of. It's natural for us to expect to be taken care of in our relationships, in our interactions. But then, how do we expect that? How do we have that expectation when we are not an example of that anyway? When we are not a representation of that anyway? When we are not a representation of that anyway, where is it going to come from? How is it going to happen? How do you then expect someone to take care of you, expect someone to really consider how you're feeling, expect someone to consider your situation, when you are not even realizing the weaknesses, or rather the things that you need to be dealing with in your own inner world? How are we then expecting? You can't expect to get what you don't give, and you can't expect others to be something that you are not. It's impossible. The only reason why I would struggle, or rather the only reason why I'd be in conflict with people that I feel should be taking care of a certain situation, or taking care of some aspect that I'm involved in, is simply because I am taking care. I definitely am taking care of the situation, and I'm taking care of myself. And if I am in relation to that person, I am doing things that show and that symbolize the fact that I'm taking care of myself. So if I don't get what I'm giving, that's when I'm actually going to be like, what is going on? Clearly there's something up with the situation, and I don't want to be involved in it, or what can be done about this? Because I know that I try my best to embody that. So really, it's all about that. It's all about that. Can we distinguish the difference between taking care of yourself externally and taking care of yourself? And also, in the process of taking care of yourself, are you doing it for people, or are you doing it for yourself? That's also another issue. Just because I'm seeing someone who is doing this and who's doing that to take care of themselves, and they're putting it out there, that's them. for me, it's a completely the fact that you are not that person. Yes, we can absolutely learn from other people and be like, oh, really, this is nice. I like what she did. I like what he did. And clearly it made her feel good. It looks like, it's beneficial. And so I can also do the same thing, definitely. But are you also doing the same thing because you want to be like that person? Are you not doing something because you want to address the issues with it? You want to feel good, you want to take care of yourself, genuinely take care of yourself. That's also another question that we need to ask ourselves. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you investing in your mental health in the very first place? Let's just start there. Why are you investing in your mental health in the first place? Why are you making the decision, the choice to be aware? Why are you doing that in the first place? Are you doing it for people? Are you doing it for somebody else? Are you doing it for something else? Or are you doing it for yourself? Those are the important questions that we need to talk about. And then there's this thing of self-love. Also, in the very same area of self-care, 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 we also have people or situations where it's like, oh, self-love, I'm showing myself, I'm showing people that I love myself, self-love, which is great. But also that's a different dimension, because when we talk about self-love, it means that you are able to accept yourself unconditionally, with your imperfections, with your insecurities. You have accepted all of you. And I mean all of you. And every day you are constantly working and working on yourself. Every day you are constantly acknowledging who you are. Every day you're constantly acknowledging your shortcomings. Every day you're constantly doing things that will affirm you. It's a whole different dimension. It's a whole thing. And I personally think that when it comes to self-love, it really is a work in progress. This is something that I'd like to believe each and every one of us is just constantly working on, because that's you need to unconditionally love yourself. And that includes your past. You've accepted your past, you've accepted your traumas, you've accepted everything, and you've accepted this moment, and you're doing everything that you can to up, no matter what comes your way, no matter what life throws your way. And am I out here trying to promote some sort of perfection? No, because I am not that. I'm not close to that. And that's not the point. But we need to know what's what, because when we are so gullible and we are just taking in things and we are saying, oh, that's the meaning of this, so I'm going to do it. From what basis are you doing it from? And then at the end of the day, you're still stuck, and it feels like you've actually accumulated more issues than before. It feels like you're actually taking 10 steps back. So this is the whole reason why we need to be clear as to, why am I doing something? If I'm saying I want to take care of myself, am I doing it for myself, or is it because I've never done it before? Is it because my life is on a standstill and there are issues that require me to start actively taking care of myself? There are things that are not working well because I'm failing to take care of myself. Those are the important reflective questions that we need to begin to ask ourselves. So look at all the things that you're doing. And I think the greatest way to start this thing is to actually look from the external in, go from external internal. That's the best way. And look at how you are taking care of yourself externally, right? Which is a societal standard. It seems that we as society really, really value taking care of ourselves externally. Look at that. What are you doing? Maybe you like going out, you like doing this and doing that. Look at that and analyze that. Why are you doing it? Does it make you feel good? How much do you do it? What is it all about? What are the requirements? Why? What's going on with that? And in terms of you, do you truly feel good inside when you do those things? Do you really truly feel good inside when you do those things? And when you don't do those things, how do you feel? Do you feel like, oh, it's the end of the world? I need this and I need that and I need that. And that is the first step. That is an indication that will show you that there is an imbalance in terms of you taking care of yourself internally and taking care of yourself externally. So let's try to create that balance and figure out how we can move forward, knowing that both sides are all good, both sides are on track, and that will lead to a much more mentally healthy lifestyle. So thank you so much. I hope we are doing all that we can to take care of our mental health every day. I will definitely see you in our next episode. Take care. Bye.